Boston Red Sox. And there he is, Ned, your man.
That's the Space Cowboy from Southern California. He's never had a losing season in baseball. He had a 1-3 record when he first came up here, but that was in the later part of the year. In that minor league season, he won more than he lost, so he really has never had a losing season in baseball.
He's a pretty good mutter, too, isn't he?
Not too bad. This is his kind of weather.
One of the things they talk about is move. He's got many pickoff moves. I know the scouts who have scouted him say, be careful. Just watch him when the catcher returns the ball. He'll take that thing and quickly throw either to second or to first. It doesn't make much difference. So, but he picked off some 12 people.
Well, he's got, you got to watch his head, Joe and Tony. It's the way that he uses the head fake toward first base. He'll go, he'll walk around that 18-foot circle. He'll go out toward second base. He'll do a lot of things.
Well, he's kind of a surprise starter, as is Jack Billingham for the Reds in the second game of the World Series. I talked to Darrell Johnson, his manager, before the ball game and said, why Bill Lee today? He's not done well lately.
Well, Tony, basically, we're pitching Bill Lee because our scouting reports say that a pitcher of Bill Lee's type has good success against Cincinnati. Number two, we know that he can hold people as base runners on base very well. And some of their best base stealers are left-handed hitters. And again, according to the reports, we figure that the man has a little bit of an edge over some of our other pitchers.
Pretty good reason, keeping the runners close. A couple personal wars out here yesterday. It's kind of interesting to watch. There's his record, 17-11, 17-15, 17-9. Potential 17-game winner, as Ned Martin said earlier. I thought Fisk and Bench did a pretty good job of showing what they can do as far as the base runners are concerned. But today's a brand new day. And here is Pete Rose, who will bat right-handed against Bill Lee.
Pete Rose. This is Rose.
2,547 hits. That's a lot of hits. Came right in with that fastball.
Both pitchers in today's ball game, low ball pitchers, if they have their control, and they haven't been out there too much lately, you'll see a lot of ground balls.
That ball is rolling foul.
Oh.
Fisk wisely picked it up because it looked like it might take a left turn on him. That's really no man's country. Nobody can give you any help when that ball starts to roll like that. You have to make the decision on your own. If you make it wrong, it'll cost you. 2 strikes to count.
Could be a little advantage for both of these low sinker ball type pitchers with a National League umpire behind the plate. They give you the low strike.
You're really going to have to tag one today. That wind seems to be blowing in. Struck him out, screwball. 3 pitches, 1 out. This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball, is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. And Major League Baseball has the right of approval of the announcers for this event. That's a pretty good pitch right there, guys.
Lee will turn the ball over a lot. He'll throw the screwball, keep it away from right-handers. He'll cut the fastball and also run a slider in on a right-handed hitter.
Rose seemed to be completely fooled on the strike, like he was trying to fight it off. Missed it, and it's a strikeout, and here is Morgan. Takes it high, ball 1. Tony, I thought that Morgan made quite a point on the defense yesterday that the Boston outfielders were playing a little more shallow than Cincinnati, and catching those balls, they were falling in front of the Reds outfielders.
And Joe, Freddie Lynn also said, he said, well, it's something you can't learn through scouting reports. You can't learn it in a workout or playing here in one game. You've got to be here day in, day out. So there is a tremendous home park advantage for the Red Sox outfielders, who are good ones.
1 ball and 1 strike. Strike two. That's a good sinker he seems to have on the first two hitters.
Ned, we have heard it. You have seen Lee many more times. There is
Senator
Senator
Kennedy.
Ted Kennedy, also present here today at the ball game. Is it true Bill Lee at time will catch balls between his legs, behind his back, over his head, and standing on his head?
Yeah, almost.
Off the handle. Doyle. Tricky hop. Gets his man. That ball took a tricky hop.
Number 5.
Two gutty men around second base.
Chuck
They
Grant.
say that when these infielders from the Red Sox move to artificial turf in Cincinnati, it will be at a disadvantage. I don't know. Balls bounce much truer, although faster on artificial surface.
Tony, I always felt if you could play on a handball court. Doesn't make any difference. And these guys can play. They have the shift on bench way around. Second baseman Doyle is to the shortstop side. There you see him. They have really stacked against him. Ball one. They didn't do it yesterday. There's a screwball. Ball two. Now this one starts to get a little tight. 2 outs, nobody on. Curveball and a beauty. He dropped one in there. Took something off the pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. You're usually guessing. Apparently John was guessing fastball. Turned it over in a straightaway center field. Plenty of room for Fred Lynn. Makes the play. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom half of the first. There is no score. Jack Billingham loosening up, and Ned, that wind seems to be blowing in. It's we're directly behind home plate, and you're going to really have to hit one.
Yeah, it's one of those, another feature of this lovely little ballpark that when it turns around, and it can in the middle of a game, the whole offense and everything changes. It's an east wind blowing off the water. It's a cold one, and you're going to have to really pick one off the dirt with a fellow like Billingham and Lee today.
Cecil Cooper.
Here is Cecil Cooper.
First base, Cooper.
318 is a DH, which is tops in the American League. Lines the first pitch down the left field line. It is. Oh, Foster had some trouble with it, and it's a 2-base hit. Ned, you no sooner said it than it happened.
Just as Foster was going to go into his leap for the ball, he hit a soft spot. This park does drain well. We'll see it. Watch his footing as he nears the warning track. He's going to jump, and there he loses the footing, while just off the edge of the webbing of his glove.
Here's another angle on it, and you can see the footing just give way. Tell you, tricky things happen in this friendly little ballpark.
Well, that door you saw down in the corner also gives outfielders some trouble. It's not an easy place to get used to.
Denny Doyle.
Here is Denny Doyle. And if he goes according to the book, which he usually does, he'll hit the ground ball to the right side. Takes it inside, ball one. Didn't take long for this crowd to get something to cheer about. Cooper leads off with a double. Ball two. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yastrzemski on deck. Doyle, one of the best in the business at taking advantage of a man playing, and although the book says pull the ball, Rose is in at third, and he slapped the ball by him yesterday.
Knocked down by Billingham. That's going to be a base hit. Nobody's going to get him. Moving to third is Cooper. First and third, nobody out. And here it is again, a base hit.
Big, tall pitchers are not noted particularly for their fielding. Billingham is big. You can see he does not react too quickly. The ball almost by him with that follow-through, falling off toward first base. Just got a piece of it.
And this is the man of the hour, Carl Yastrzemski, who has really done it all. He has dominated this series. 317 lifetime home run. 2 on and nobody out. All 1. Yastrzemski is superstitious. Digs in with that back foot. He's got a favorite pair of socks that he wears, baseball socks. Must be helping him, too. Takes it low, ball 2. There it is. Now, man playing in the World Series, you think he'd get a new pair, but you couldn't get him to change, Tony.
That looks like the kind that Tony used to wear.
Well, when you're Polish, potato farmer.
Listen, man, the way he's going to buy 2-3 farms. 2-0 pitch. Right back to Billingham. He's going to go to second for Warner. Coming to the plate. They may have a rundown. They do. Bad running by the Red Sox. Bench tags him out. And I'm telling you, they came within an eyelash of a triple play. Cooper hesitated. He should have come in immediately, and he hesitated. Billingham went to second, Tony.
Well, Billingham right here, a couple of guys appear to be yelling to him to go for Cooper coming in from third base. He decides to go to the double play. Another alert play by Concepcion. He made one yesterday on the ball. Bench with a pretty good play. Now we'll see the tag by Johnny, and close as you said, he's thinking double play. There is Cecil Cooper right now hung up. That's his job, though. That's what he's supposed to do. Force them to go for him.
But Tony,
break up the double play.
Tony, should he not have gone in as soon as that ball was hit?
I think he should get in a rundown and try and get there long enough to get both men to second and third, but Concepcion made a fine play.
Billingham immediately elected to go to second base, and Cooper, had he come from the very beginning, would have been able to score. But he hesitated, which gave Concepcion a chance to make the play, and here's Fisk taking the strike. That's one of those plays that the coach says, go in on the ground ball and get hung up to move the men to second and third. But he who hesitates ends up in a double play.
Never heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
You have now.
That's Darcy loosing up for the Cincinnati Reds. No score. Yastrzemski's on at second base. Strike 2 on Fisk. Line drive. Right field. Base hit. Yastrzemski will score. Carlton Fisk, a clutch base hit. Tony, that's got to be a big base hit if for no other reason that mix-up with the base running has to get your club down a little bit.
Well, it's the kind of hit, too, that can break a pitcher's heart. He appeared to be about to pitch out of what was going to be a tough jam, and then you get the base hit, but Fisk's done it all of September through the championship series.
Here is Fred Lynn taking a pitch outside, ball 1.
Interesting, Joe, some of the papers and some of the Cincinnati people said the outfield should be playing more shallow. Geronimo is playing more shallow in center field today.
Ball 2. Ned, I felt that ball would have gotten by Griffey. You've seen enough balls in right field. That could have been some fun to him.
Yeah, once it gets down and rolls around that corner, why, right fielders that are unused to it have a time with it. It's too bad the Red Sox, for them, they ran themselves into an out there.
Bouncing ball to Morgan. And that's it. But the Red Sox score a run. We complete 1 inning of play here. Boston 1, Cincinnati nothing. Rico Petrocelli to lead it off. Good day yesterday. First pitch, right field. Griffey's going back near the line. This could be trouble. Foul ball. Foul ball. Griffey really gave it an attempt.
He hit the wall hard also. Another one of those tricky spots. We explained to you yesterday, Ned, this is a tough spot, isn't it?
Right in there, and a lot of fielders worry about the wall. Evans plays it as well as anybody I've ever seen. Griffey played it well there.
Ooh. He looked at that wall twice as we saw it on the replay and actually had a play, but you can't blame him for not making it. The ball was in the park, but that's an awful tough play.
It's a tough wind, and of course he's got a warning track he's not familiar with. When you know a warning track, you know a couple of steps you're going to be at the wall. Again, the home park advantage.
Outside, 1-1. These Red Sox, an aggressive hitting club. It's a first ball hitting ball club. Fourth on the all-time Red Sox extra base hit list. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Petrocelli didn't have many hits in the '67 series, but 2 of them were home runs in 1 game.
He can play this part. Curveball gets him. Big breaking curveball, and that's the first strikeout for Billingham.
And that's where Billingham can be tough. Right-handed hitters, he can hit the outside corner with a sweeping curve, a slider. sinker ball, brush you back when the pitcher comes in on you.
His curveball has been giving him trouble as of late, and he was replacing the rotation by Freddie Norman, and it's just kind of a switch here. We talked earlier in the game. Billingham in his park, Sparky feels that he needs Norman as his middle relief man in a big series. Evans takes outside, ball 1. .327 after the All-Star game. They've got some fine outfielders, these Red Sox. Young. Hit him.
That's one thing that Larry Shepard, the Cincinnati pitching coach, and also Sparky said they learned yesterday they've got to pitch inside, not trying to hit Evans, obviously, but move him off the plate so they can't hang over the outside corner. I think many pitchers find that up here, Joe. You've got to move guys off the plate.
Well, I think that it's understood by the hitter and the pitcher that half the plate belongs to one and half the other, and there's some hitters who'll go up there and say, I'm taking your half too, and it's up to the pitcher to say, oh, no, you're not, and you give me back my half, and I'll let you have your half. Then he'll stick one in your ribs, and he'll take the whole thing from you. And that's the way it goes as they slowly sink in the West. 1 out, and here's Burleson. He's first ball hitter and a pretty good hitter. Aggressive. Takes the strike.
Second on the club in game-winning RBIs this year behind Jim Rice. Burley stuck a lot of little hits in there that got things done.
I thought Yastrzemski paid him a tremendous compliment when he said that's the fella that we should be talking about. Low, nice play by Johnny Bench. Boy, I tell you, he can do it all back there. He made that look so easy. I love to watch this because he shifts on the ball. Watch him just get in front of it. That ball was right in the middle. If he'd have missed it, it'd have hit him right in the chest protector, which is what you're supposed to do. And that's the only reason they call it the tools of ignorance, that you're dumb enough to let it hit you. But that's the play. Pitch out. And nothing happened. That's the first pitch out I've ever seen Bench put on, Tony.
Interesting, in yesterday's ball game, just like the championship series, the team that was supposed to run didn't. The team that wasn't supposed to run has, and that's the Boston Red Sox.
2 balls and 1 strike. Evans a lead. There he goes now. Foul tip. They put the play on this time. Which I wouldn't be surprised that if Bench puts another pitch out on, Bellingham, not too bad at control, will pitch out twice.
Well, if you want to go 3-2, but let's find out.
I don't mean now.
Okay.
Oh, not now. I wouldn't pitch out now. I'm talking about setting the bait. Well, with Bench's arm, he doesn't have to pitch out that much. A lot of room between first and second, as you can see. Up the middle, off his leg. Nobody can get it. A base hit. Evans will stop at second. Geronimo has trouble picking up the ball, but Evans can't go anywhere. Billingham ducked that one.
Number 37.
Here's Morgan. Watch the dive. Give you an idea of the intensity of the play here in World Series. He just missed it. We'll throw this to Ned. Is Lee a good hitter? How does he do in the batting cage pregame?
Just ask him. No, he knows how to handle the bat, but he never had much of a chance because he was in relief for quite a while, and then when he became a starter, they put in the DH rule.
They're looking for the bunt, and I would be too. He's going to hit away, and he swings, and they got a pick-off attempt, and look out. It may go into center field, and Evans is going to try. No, he's not. He'd better make a U-turn. And, Tony, it's what you talked about. Being shallow, Geronimo could come in and charge that ball.
Bench has him dead to rights. He's leading the other way. With a low throw, gets by, and Geronimo makes a very alert play coming in. You know, I think an adjustment the Red Sox outfield is going to have to make as we look at this again is they're going to have to learn to play a little deeper on artificial surface. The adjustment was made by Cincinnati as we watch this. There's Concepcion. Bench doesn't do this too often. He didn't throw the ball down in the dirt too often.
He just didn't get that ball up is what happened. I mean, he gunned the ball good. But started it low. It was a good shot showing that great daylight between the shortstop and the base runner. Here's a shot. They got him now. They're going to go to third. Here's the throw. They got him. Almost believed that Evans tried to play to draw a throw and take off because he didn't hesitate.
Sure looked like it. He tried to set Bench up. There he is. He isn't, well, I don't know. He caught Bench in the middle. Bench caught him in the middle. He's out at third, attacked by Rose, but I think you're right. He tried to set Bench up and he got caught.
I'll tell you something, though, Tony and Ned. Concepcion had to put a little extra on that ball. If he throws one of those little infield fly jobs down there, Evans has got it. This Red Sox ball club, Ned, is an aggressive base running club.
And they don't run the bases, haven't run the bases that well until the latter part of the year.
They don't play station to station. I mean, one base at a time. They just take off.
They don't have the team speed to make them a real flamboyant running ball club, but they try to take that extra base and take the advantage if they can.
They got these Cincinnati Reds wary, I'll tell you. Out on strikes, that ends the inning, an exciting inning. So at the end of 2, Boston 1, Cincinnati nothing. Looking at the scoreboard, we have a camera out there. There you see it. This is the shot that he'll get from that scoreboard. And I'll tell you, if they hit a ball off that scoreboard, the inside of it, you get the same feeling if you were inside a bell when it hits that tin. Your ears ring for about 20 minutes. Griffey will lead it off against Bill Lee, who was struck out 3 and has retired the first 6 men. Low ball 1. The Red Sox with 1 run on the scoreboard, but very aggressive base running. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cincinnati bullpen is busy. Ned, this aggressive base running of the Red Sox, you can't go just by base stealing, but the way, like Evans today here, who do you attribute it to?
Well, I think, Darryl Johnson has done some conservative things, but he will leave it to the hands of his coaches a lot. Don Zimmer at third and Johnny Pesky at first have been very instrumental in giving these guys confidence. Zimmer especially will send anybody almost any time. Keep the pressure on.
Well, they certainly have kept the pressure on. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Bouncing ball. Cooper finds it in his glove. Says, looky here. And he's got to play at first base all by himself. Tony.
Playing shallow as you have to for.
Look at him laughing.
He knows it.
What did the ball players say? You ought to be hunting pocketbooks. Yeah, that took a quick hop, and he was there. You know, Johnson, I guess he really isn't needling Zimmer when he tells him then go out and coach your usual game.
That's the way Zimmer plays it, that's all. He's more than a traffic cop there. He just runs green light a lot.
Geronimo takes a curveball outside, ball 1. Well, I tell you, in this series, you don't know if he's been a starter at a track meet or a third base coach. He's had him running. They won the first game 6-0. Red Sox lead 1-0 here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out on Geronimo.
This is Darrell's strategy. Keep the left-handed hitters off base, and if they do get on, Lee with his assortment of moves can hold them close.
Curveball catches the inside corner. He started it right at him. And Geronimo backed out, and it caught the inside corner. Fastball just misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rod Dato, the baseball coach of USC, must be proud today. Sitting in the stands, one of his boys pitching, and Fred Lynn in center field, one of his boys. Struck him out. College baseball is such a big part of the total baseball picture with fellas like Dato and Ron Fraser. There's Alex Grammas coaching at third.
Number 43.
And George Sugar coaches at first, and they haven't had any business. They've been the loneliest men in the ballpark today.
Victor.
8 people up, 8 people back, 4 strikeouts. Billingham is not much of a hitter. Burleson. 3 perfect innings for Bill Lee. 3 up and 3 down again in the third. We go to the bottom half. It's Boston 1, Cincinnati nothing. Bottom half of the third inning, and Cecil Cooper will lead it off. There is Commissioner Kuhn, and in the Navy hat to his right is Secretary of State Dr. Kissinger. Strike. Congressman Tip O'Neill is here with Joe Cronin, former American League president. Congressman Toby McDonald is here. You saw Senator Kennedy. That's what baseball is all about. Forget about the problems for just a couple hours. Have some fun at the ballpark. And so far, the Red Sox have been doing that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cecil Cooper off the handle. Joe Morgan lays back, makes the play. You know, Morgan was asked about the grass and the artificial turf, and he always comes up with such great answers. He said, listen, I learned to play this game on grass. I'm a better ball player on grass. He is something.
An artificial surface, you can become more of a one-handed infielder. Ball always bounds up. You've got to get in front of more balls on the grass surface. Balls scoot on you, they take off, they bounce sideways.
This is Doyle. It'll be an adjustment for him when they get to Riverfront. Doyle takes it outside.
Well, they had a pretty good record on artificial turf at Kansas City this year, Joe. It's the only place in the American League that has it all, and they went 4 for 6 there. But had their troubles the year before.
They actually played better on the road, Ned, you were saying.
Yes, they were. They were the best road club in the league. They won 48 and lost 31 on the road.
Off the handle, here comes Morgan. Hey, in between hops, but he makes the play. Now, that ball would have been true hops on the artificial surface.
Morgan showing what you have to do. One of the differences, you've got to charge the ball more, obviously, because it gets to you more slowly. And that's an adjustment, but the infielders here for Cincinnati not only have fine ability, they think a little bit, too, and they know they've got to charge the ball more.
Yastrzemski takes a curveball low and inside. I think Reggie Jackson of the A's said it all when he said that Rice is the best hitter, Lynn is the best all-around player, but I want Yaz on my side. You just can't measure the value of this fella on a box score. Down a left field line, but it's drifting foul.
It's this kind of game or this kind of series that shows Yastrzemski at his best. I don't care if he's 50 years old. He's a climax ball player. He did it in '67 when he had to. Anytime there's been a tough series like now, he's got it.
Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike and 2 outs. A climax ball player. That pretty well sets it right there, boy. I'd like to have that on underneath my picture.
You did once.
Yeah, American Legion. 3 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs.
Tell you another man who's done pretty well in postseason play, and he's right to the left of your screen now, and that's Jack Billingham. He's been here before, done very well against Oakland. 13 2/3 innings, giving up just 1 run and 6 hits.
Yastrzemski draws the base on balls. That's the first walk given up. And here is Carlton Fisk and what he's meant to this ball club since he came back. In fact, he drove in the only run that's on the scoreboard after 2 were out. And that, to me, is always the toughest RBI in the world, that 2-out RBI. And he did it with Yaz on at second base, so he had to widen his strike zone to drive it in, and he did. Right on top of that plate. There's the strike. Fisk had a 19-game hitting streak snapped yesterday, so he starts a new one today.
Said I think along with Yastrzemski, Fisk might be the smartest hitter on this club. He'll adjust to pitches and situations, and he knows when to go with a pitch, when to pull it.
High curveball. He got away with that one.
When he first came up, everybody wondered if he'd hit in the major leagues. He was a great receiver always, and he hit better in the majors ever than he did in the minors. And he adjusted that way. He used to be strictly a pull hitter. Now he can go the other way.
That's what he did the first time up. He's up there now with Yastrzemski at first and 2 strikes. Foul tip, and it's held on to by Johnny Bench. If it goes directly to your glove, you're all right. Had it hit his protector, it would not have counted. So that ends the inning, 1-0 at the end of 3.
59th birthday.
Man in the middle is the Hall of Famer Joe Cronin. To his left, Mrs. Cronin, and to the right, Congressman O'Neill and Mrs. O'Neill. Hey, a blooper again. And today is Joe Cronin's birthday, and they paid tribute to him here by singing him happy birthday. He played in the World Series in '33 and managed the Red Sox in '46 here. Lee drops the curveball in for 1-1. And it's also Christopher Columbus's birthday and Tony Kubek's birthday. So there are 3 Hall of Famers in my book.
Beautiful.
Right to Doyle.
Joe, an adjustment by the Cincinnati hitters. Pete looked like he was trying to hit that screwball or the tailing fastball the opposite field.
Well, they tried it with Tiant yesterday. They went to the opposite field. In fact, Bench Perez, Foster, and Concepcion all yesterday went to the opposite field. Don't look now, but Bill Lee has retired the first 10 men that he's faced. And here is Morgan, who bounced out to second his first time up. It's 1-0 in the top of the fourth. Boston leading. Tony Petrocelli is really guarding the line. You figure he's going to punch a curveball if he gets it, Morgan?
I think he's doing it more. Morgan doesn't hit that way in case he bunts. He can get a good angle coming in on a ground ball or a bunt ground ball down that way. Joe doesn't bunt a whole lot, though. He likes to pull the ball less against a left-handed pitcher.
He spent a lot of time with Rod Carew this spring. He's amazed at the ability of Carew, but he hasn't been able to bunt. Curveball is a strike. Lee has thrown everything up there except the rosin bag. Curveballs, sliders, fastballs, screwballs. He has really shown an assortment and great control. Foul ball.
And he's kept it down, too. There's only one fly ball out. The rest are either ground balls or strikeouts. I wouldn't say it's completely a typical Lee game because he usually gives up about 10 or 11 hits, but he can shut you out. He had 4 shutouts this year.
Well, I'll tell you, as Preacher Roy used to say, it isn't neatness, it's what they put up on that scoreboard. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Lee has pitched some games with the amazingly low total of what, mid-70s pitches, 76, 77, hour and 30 minutes.
Ball 3, 3-2 on Morgan.
And he's on. That's the kind of game he'll work at, to get the ball over the plate, let them hit it.
One nothing, Boston leading, top of the fourth. We got a run in the bottom half. Ball 4, it gets by Fisk, but Morgan will not go anywhere except to first base.
Here we go again.
Now we'll
Morgan
see it.
yesterday. Today we got Lee against Morgan.
Now we'll see that move.
Yeah, this should be fun.
You know Morgan's going to have to try it. Johnny Bench flied to center field his first time up. They overshifted. They'll not overshift. Time is called as Morgan cleans off his spikes at first base. He's standing in foul territory, just working on his shoes. Now he's ready.
He says he does not have a good move to first, but he says I throw a lot of them over there, and they just have difficulty figuring me out which one I'm going to use.
Well, he didn't even come set that time, just stepping through. There's a base hit in the right center field. He went with him, and Morgan will easily make it to third. Bench will hold it first, so it's first and third. 1 man out, and the batter is Perez. And Tony, you made the point with Pete Rose, and he tried to go the opposite field, and that's what Bench did.
Let's see now if Lee makes an adjustment to counter that and starts popping him inside with a slider or fastball.
It's a cat and mouse game, and when they start going with you the opposite field, to keep them honest, you got to jam them, but you got the friendly wall over here if the hitter is looking for it. Perez was out on strikes his first time up. We'll keep it away from him. That was in a pretty good spot right there. That was double play country.
Joe, I was watching Fisk yesterday. He uses, it seems, his chest protector as an indicator where he wants the ball in the strike zone. Oh, Yeager from the Dodgers will use that thumb or finger whether he wants in or out.
Morgan's at third, and Bench draws the throw at first. A little lob throw. One of those, let him know he's aware of it. Let's see. He's gloving it. Outside. That ball was off the plate in a good spot. Obviously trying to keep the ball low and outside, or at least low, to get the ground ball to get out of this inning. Curveball. Going to be tough. Burleson gets one. Not in time. We're all tied up, 1 apiece. That's a tough play, Tony.
Not much of an argument from Gramus at third, but Sparky Anderson was on the top step of the dugout saying Doyle cheated at second base, and let's watch Denny Doyle. He's way out in front off the end of the bat. Burleson makes a good play to get the lead runner What's
George
Denny
Foster,
Doyle?
Left field.
Is he or is he not on the base? Don't know. I'd like to see that.
I would say on that he was on the base. Let's see. This is Foster. With Perez on at first base, 2 men out and 1 run is in. We're all tied at 1 apiece. Inside ball 1. Here it is at second base. Let's take a look at it now. He's got to have his foot on the bag when he gets the ball. There is the ball.
Wait a second. Has he?
I think he might have just ticked it. I'm not sure.
On second thought, that's the old neighborhood play. He was in the neighborhood, Tony.
I'll tell you what, I always say, when they enforce the rule that a runner has to slide at the bag and not at the guy making the tag, then they can enforce the rule the shortstop or second baseman has to touch the bag. How's that for a defensive answer?
The preceding was a paid political announcement on behalf of shortstops.
That's right.
Boy, oh boy. You hear that, Ned?
The old automatic, yeah. I heard he did it very well, too.
Didn't he? Huh? Like it was scripted. We're all tied 1 apiece. Looper's going to drop for a base hit. He hit that off the end of the bat, but just hard enough to get it over the head of Burleson. Perez stops at second. Foster's on with the base hit. So after retiring 10 men in a row, the base on balls came home to haunt. And now a base hit by Foster, and it's first and second, 2 men out. And Concepcion is the batter.
13. Concepcion. Shortstop.
Tony, I don't know if they're anticipating or guessing or looking, but they are definitely going up there with an idea of what they're going to do.
Looks like they're trying to hit the ball up the middle or the opposite field. And if you're going to throw slow stuff, off-speed stuff as Lee has, you better keep it down, because if you get it up, that's what you get, the little bloopers over the infield. If it's down, it's the weak ground ball in the infield.
They're waiting longer on Lee, definitely. High screwball, ball 1.
I think what they're trying to do, Joe, is force Lee out of his pitching pattern. They're the on-basemen, Perez and Foster, but they want him to go back to his fastball. They're a fastball hitting club. They're trying to force him away from the off-speed stuff.
There's a fastball, and he threw it right by him, although Concepcion did get a piece of it, and now he wants some pine tar.
He doesn't like that. A look of disgust, a guy stepping out of the box. He likes to get the ball and throw quickly, doesn't he, Ned?
He does. He will often vent his spleen on batters that do that, too.
Does that mean he knocks him down?
Not often,
Is
no.
that spleen venting?
He shows it a different way, the California way.
1 ball, 1 strike. Curve ball misses. 2 balls and 1 strike, and all the umpires in the stands thought it was a strike. Lee wants a new ball now.
He does get people mad at him sometimes. He got the White Sox furious at him that game in the rain where they won because he was throwing all that junk up there and they couldn't hit it.
Can't really blame the pitcher. There's a fastball, and it's hit straight away center field. Lynn got a bad break on that ball, gliding in, makes the play. He got a bad jump on it, but that speed will erase your mistake. Makes the play, ends the inning. In the bottom of the 4th, we're all tied at 1 apiece. Fred Lynn to lead it off, known to bunt when he leads off, known to jump on that first pitch. Just a good all-around ball player. Tries to bunt. Foul ball.
You're not that smart. He must have told you something.
No. I'd watch him.
You got the scouting report.
No. Listen, I watched him. Watch Bench get out of there. He comes out of that chute like Yogi Berra is the only guy that I can compare Bench to. Did I say that right, where Yogi is still 1.5 over him?
I've seen him come out and throw guys at third base in bunt situations.
Yogi, huh?
Oh.
And Bench comes out there just as well. Left field. Foster's going back to the wall. He's going to have to come in a few steps now. Makes that one-hand grab with that glove that he uses like a tweezer. You know, Sparky told him to just go to the wall and try to catch it, and if it goes over your head, let somebody else worry about it. That's not a bad idea, Ned.
Well, opposing outfielders have a problem. Claudell Washington, the A's, did have that problem, and the wind hurt him. He went to the wall, but and then came in, but the ball it was hit off the wall.
I don't know what you said yesterday on radio, Joe, but we said here sooner or later that wall's going to play a part in this series where we got 13 innings just about and hadn't been hit yet.
The only way it's going to play a part if it collapses. Everybody's made such a... I tell you, that workout day was really something. Petrocelli takes it outside 1-1. They were taking pictures like they had just put up that wall. 1 ball, 1 strike. Although yesterday, Tian could have beat anybody, anywhere. Wall. Outside, 2-1. He was a good pitcher yesterday, man. Evans, the on-deck batter. Did he go around? Yes, he did. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There are just certain games you get beaten, certain games you lose. Reds were beaten yesterday.
I don't think the Boston Red Sox saw the Don Gullett they're going to see in Cincinnati. He threw some good fastballs, but I've seen him go for an entire game where he blows the ball right by you.
I didn't think that was one of his better games either, Tone. 3-2 now on Petrocelli. Got a little bit of rain coming down. But in the World Series, nothing bothers you. That's a simple sign. Nice fastball. It's hit up the middle, and Concepcion has a big hop. Good sinker. 2 up and 2 down. Billingham had a shaky first inning. He gave up a hit and hit a batsman in the second. Third. 2 ground balls and a strikeout. A fly ball and a ground ball here. Here's Dwight Evans. It's a strike. We're all tied 1 apiece. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Outside corner. 2 strikes. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Curveball, and he almost chased it. That's always a tough pitch to lay off, and it's a tantalizing kind of curveball, and you start leaning and you can't really stop.
Old high school roundhouse.
That's what it is. There it is again. This time he got him. Evans is out on strikes. 3 up and 3 down. So as we complete 4 innings here, the score is Cincinnati 1, Boston 1. The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by Major League Baseball. Here is Ken Griffey, who bounced out to Cooper. Cooper put his glove down. There it was. Made a good play. Curveball is high. Ball 1. Big sports afternoon here on NBC. You're watching the World Series, and we got Jack Buck standing by. Time permitting, old Jack will be there. And, of course, that Oakland Raiders Kansas City Chiefs football game after this. And I don't care what the records are now. You got Oakland playing Kansas City. You got yourself a ball game. And Cecil Cooper's got himself another easy out. I guess that's one of the great rivalries in football, the Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. And when you got a rivalry going, you don't look at the standings, you look to knock some heads. That'll be coming on this afternoon.
Wonder how Kenny Stabler's knee is. Had some problems.
Snake.
Morgan's worried about him. He's a great Oakland Raiders fan.
Those runners, they worry about knees, even other sports. So you stay with us. Grandstand, time permitting, and Oakland Raiders in Kansas City this afternoon. And Geronimo takes it low, ball 1.
Ned, you know this wind better than we do, but does it appear to be shifting or picking up a little?
Seemed like it's going more from left to right than it was previously.
Hit off the end of the bat. Evans has got himself an easy play. Had him played perfectly. That was a nice, polite swing by Geronimo and a nice, lazy fly ball.
Number 43, Jack Billingham.
Here's the kind of follow-through that Garagiola would have bunted on. Bunted right by him on his left side as he falls over to third base and beating it out easily, wouldn't you?
Look, where's he looking?
Look at that glove. There's an indication right between his legs if a ball is hit where he'll make the catch.
Baloney.
He did once this year.
Oh, come on. Where that glove was? Look at that pitch. That pitch changed time zones coming up there, was so slow. You mean where that glove was,
He
Ned?
caught one ground ball between his legs and a couple behind him. The glove went back farther.
And he tells me he practices that play. You
Right,
don't
look
believe
at him
that.
in the outfield.
Fastball right by him. Strike two. All tied up here, 1-1. Say what you want about Mr. Lee, but he's pitching himself a pretty good ball game is Jack Billingham. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. We're in the top of the 5th. Boy, I'm almost rooting to have somebody hit one when he follows through like that to see it. Ground ball to Doyle. He boots it, but he's going to have time. Flip, 3 up and 3 down. And so as we go into the bottom half of the 5th inning, we're all tied up, 1 apiece. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and Ned Martin will be doing the play-by-play. And what does that mean?
Yes, it is him, America.
You don't like that hat? I love this hat. You can't put it on wrong. Either way, it's right.
Sherlock
Ned will
Holmes.
carry you the rest of the way with the play-by-play. We got a tied-up ball game here.
We got a good one. Thank you, Joe. And here we go with Jack Billingham taking his warm-ups, going to the bottom of the 5th inning, tied up 1-1, 2 hits for Cincinnati and 4 for the Red Sox, and very little to choose between these two pitchers. Billingham supposedly had a bad second half, and he did, but there's no indication today because he's had the Red Sox off balance. They haven't hit real hard shots off him, and he's kept the ball down as Lee has. Burleson, Lee, and Cooper will be the hitters against Billingham before this umbrellaed crowd at Fenway Park, and the rain is coming down harder now. It's steady, and it's going to be here a while. Here is Rick Burleson.
Number 7.
We got to get some policing done on home plate. We've seen a lot of games out here in this kind of weather this summer. Some that have been held up an hour and a half, started again, held up again. Burleson is having a great series so far at the plate. There's a slider for a strike. He singled his first time up. 4 for 4 in the series. Can't do much better than that. 1 ball, 1 strike. They call him the Rooster. His teammates started that last year because of the way his hackles stand up when he takes his hat off. Very intense ball player. Ball 2.
Man, he seems to be farther off the plate than the last time I saw him.
He usually leans right in. And I don't know why that is. He has changed his stance a couple of times. He went through a bad spot in the middle of the year and then came back well. Pronounced crouch. Strike. Got the black on the outside corner, 2-2.
He's the kind of guy, Burleson is, that you always say of, you got to see him play every day to appreciate him. And it's so true of him, and also Denny Doyle.
He got him out this time. Burley doesn't strike out often, but Billingham got him, and that's number 5 for Jack. 1 down in the Red Sox 5th. Game tied 1-1. Game 2. And here is William Francis Lee. Struck out swinging his first time up. Good bunt. Bench.
What a play!
Beautiful play by Johnny Bench.
Oh, baby, what a play. That's worth the price of admission. You just can't stop to think on that. You got to pick up and throw. And the crowd appreciates this play. Watch him get out of the chute and grab that ball, and he's throwing right now. He was ready to throw. Tremendous play. Here's what it looks like from that camera in left field.
Yeah, the handheld camera to show you again. Bench getting out of there, and does he move for a big man? Great throw, and it was a good bunt, too.
Beautiful bunt. And you can, with the weather being what it is, it was a bit wet. Sometimes you throw that an uncalled for spitball on a day like today.
I'll take Mr. Bench anytime.
Oh, take him any way.
Cecil Cooper, 1 for 2. Ball 1. Coop doubled to left field his first time up and grounded out to second in the 3rd. He can hit. Always around that 300 mark. A ball. 2-0.
you were a general manager, how would you like to make a trade in which you got Joe Morgan, Cesar Geronimo, Dennis Menke, Ed Armbrister, and Jack Billingham?
That wasn't too shabby a deal for him, was
Bob
it?
Howsam did it for Cincinnati.
Good stop by Billingham. 3 up and 3 down. Nice play by Jack Billingham, the pitcher. And we go through 5 with the score tied up 1-1.
Put the hat off.
Top of the 6th, and Pete Rose up against Bill Lee. Rose 0 for 2, hitless in the series so far, but not anymore. Base hit to left by Rose to start it off in the 6th inning of a 1-1 ball game. And Pete Rose, the model of consistency in 1975 as a switch hitter. He hit .323 as a left-handed against left-handers and .315 against right-handers.
He looked like he was looking for that pitch, didn't he? Looking for the off-speed stuff.
Jumped right on it.
He waited a long time for that one.
So the Reds now have the lead run at first. Nobody out. Attendance has come through, same as yesterday, 35,205. Joe Morgan grounded out and walked. Strike, fastball. There is Mr. Gowdy and Marty Brenneman. Kurt Gowdy on the right, and Marty Brenneman, the Cincinnati broadcaster, doing radio today. Watch out. Morgan claims that it hit him. He's claiming that it got his uniform, and plate umpire Nick Colosi says no.
They wanted to appeal to the second base umpire, who is Dick Stella. That's what Morgan is saying. Look out to second base. Stella's saying, what do you want from me? I didn't see it from out here. The home plate umpire called it. That's Nick Colosi.
That's a little tough to ask a fella at second base to call that play. Morgan says, all right.
Morgan says, all right.
Well, let's look at it.
Look at it.
He claims it hit or nipped his uniform. Now you can't tell from there.
Can't tell from that shot, but I tell you, he backed out there in a hurry.
A ball and a strike. And Lee's moved to first. Action in the Red Sox bullpen for the first time. A ball and a strike to Joe Morgan. And that's going to be taken by Cooper. Throws over to Burleson, gets the out. Nice play by Cecil Cooper at first as they cut down the lead man.
Cooper had a pretty tough play, holding Rose on, as you can see, on this slippery turf. It's been a little bit of a drizzle. Makes a fine play. Has enough composure to get the lead runner. And watch the hard slide by Pete Rose trying to go after Burleson.
It was one of the reasons that Rose doesn't run is to give Morgan that gap, and Cooper makes the good play by getting his man, and now we got that little battle going again here between Lee and Morgan. And there's Dick Drago loosening up for the Red Sox, as Ned mentioned.
Yep, first time the Red Sox have had anybody out there today. Lee to first, not in time. Joe Morgan, every time you look around, he's on base. 67 steals in 77 attempts this year in the regular season. 4 for 4 in the playoffs.
Look at the lead.
And Lee will go over there.
Gene Mock had a great expression, Ned. He says, Joe Morgan, he says, first base is his address, but you better write in a hurry because you don't hang around long.
He just rents the bag for a while, I believe.
Does.
And again, Lee. He'll do that a lot. He'll try to take a step away from somebody. Some runners he can, but I don't think Morgan will be bluffed out by it.
Morgan actually gets a bigger lead, as does Concepcion, off left-handed pitchers.
The foul, and the count is 0-1 to bench.
Look at Joe marking off a spot right there. He's doing some groundskeeping. That's where he knows he's got to go that far.
Tommy Harper, who used to steal bases by the ton for the Red Sox, and before he came here, always took about a 5-step lead, and he never changed, no matter how many times the pitcher went over, no matter how good his move. Watch it. That's what they mean about Lee going over there as soon as he gets the ball back. Tails away, ball 1. 1-1.
Morgan with interesting base-stealing philosophies. He's very positive. He says, Worry about getting back to first base, not me. He says, I've already got that. I'm thinking second base.
And dancing back again.
I'll tell you how I feel. I don't think he'll run with bench hitting if they get 2 outs, although you'd have to be ready for him. You wouldn't want to take that bat out of this big guy's hands. But he's drawing throws.
There he goes.
There he goes. Look at here. He's got it.
Out! Out! Got him again. Denny Doyle making the tag.
You got to give credit to Doyle, Tony.
Good tag and a gun by Fisk on the proper side of the bag. The ball drifted right into the runner. Look at him get rid of the ball with something on it. Good call by Dick Stallo. Great position.
Look where that knee is of Doyle's as Fisk throws the ball. He gives Doyle a chance to set himself. Good tag. That was a good tag. Throw was there, but good tag by Doyle. Good work by Fisk.
Yep. Doyle blocked the base well,
Sure
too.
did. Sure did. I'm still surprised that he ran.
Now it's 2-1 to Bench. Nobody on. The shift is on again on Johnny Bench. 3 infielders on the left side. Strike 2. Sinking fastball. There they are. Doyle well over toward the shortstop way, and Burleson in the hole, and Petrocelli up the line. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Carlton Fisk, who everybody said they're going to run all over the place on him, has thrown out 2 in the series so far. And of course, you got to say, with Morgan and the play and everything, that is not the fastest track out there. It's heavy. To center field, Lynn coming on. He's got it! Fine play by Fred Lynn. Great.
He slips on the first step as he started to break in. Now he's viewed from our center field camera with a great recovery. Second time he's done it today, and he has done this all year long in short left, center, and right field.
Here comes another angle on it. Lynn out. Great catch. Innings over. Going to the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1. Here it is again, the inning-ending catch by Lynn, and actually, it has become rather ordinary here, Joe, the way he's done some of those things.
The amazing thing, he just went like a gopher chewing up the ground, but that he didn't jar the ball loose when his elbows hit.
I thought that might happen, too. Here is Denny Doyle, and they're starting to give it the old Fenway frazzle here. They're starting to talk it up. To Morgan at second. 1 out.
Number 8.
There it is, the schedule for World Series night games. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if necessary, from Cincinnati, Ohio. Boston Red Sox and the Cincinnati Reds. And we'll have the baseball world with Joe Garagiola. That'll be on. We got Foster Brooks doing the poem. Tony, super. We'll hear that one.
Yastrzemski, ball 1.
And at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, we got the Bubblegum Championship on the baseball world.
The Bat Club versus Oates.
Johnny Oates. Pressure's on now.
1-0 to Yaz. Ball 2. Yastrzemski has had a fielder's choice and scored the only run for the Red Sox, and he walked his last time up. Had a hit yesterday that drove in the first run and what proved to be the only run that Louis Tiant needed. Check swing, and it's 2-1.
Ned, the Red Sox just refused to let the momentum change so far in this young series. Yastrzemski yesterday with a great dive. Lynn today picking off or throwing out Morgan. Morgan's trying to excite him, but they keep coming up with the good plays as they did all year.
They're making a run at him. Base hit by Yastrzemski. So Yaz is on with a 1-out single.
Watch that bat of Yastrzemski's. He was wrapping it. He wraps it a bit here and then right into it in a great follow-through. I think the interesting thing to me in this Red Sox, the way they're playing, is they have not changed. They still run even if they're thrown out, and Fisk behind the plate has not changed his style. A lot of times you get a fast base runner on, they'll go for slow curveballs. He catches his game, and he's going to throw the men out if they run. They have not changed. They're doing their thing.
Fisk is up. He is 1 for 2. Drove in a run with a single in the first inning. Cincinnati won. The Red Sox won, bottom of the 6th. A beauty here at Fenway, and it has quit raining, but it's very dark. Ball 1.
What a difference in the style of left field play. There's the visitor, George Foster, just, well, almost on the warning track. Tell you what he thinks about the wall. He wants to be there in a hurry, as opposed to Yaz will try and show you him later. He plays much more shallow.
Foul, count 1-1 to Fisk. Geronimo is playing a relatively shallow center field compared to what he played yesterday, it seems. He's come in a little bit. And Griffey and right, playing about like Dwight Evans. There's Geronimo, shaded over a little bit toward left center on Fisk. Laid off the breaking pitch. 2-1. Activity in the Cincinnati bullpen. We look at Fisk. Pedro Bourbon, one of the core of great relievers the Reds have had this year. Anderson can use 4 guys out there, and they remind me a little bit of, there's what is happening to the pitcher's mound now, a little bit of mud out there, but they remind me of the bullpen that Dick Williams had with the A's a couple of years ago when he had 4 guys that he can use either short or long.
Tony, would you hit and run here?
They do it with Fisk on occasion. He's got a big hole between Morgan and Perry.
Had a notion on it, I believe. 2-2.
Ken Harrelson, one of the TV broadcasters up here, the Hawk, told me that he thinks Fisk, for a big, powerful man, can adjust his swing and hit and run and cut down his swing better than anybody he's seen.
Ball 3. 3-2.
Now, what do you do with Yastrzemski?
Send him on his way.
I would,
yeah,
too.
you send him, and I think that Darrell will.
We're unanimous here?
Yep, for the first time.
Well,
I don't know.
we've got 2 votes for no downstairs and 1 abstain. We say he's going.
1 out. Yep. And he's going to get second base. Concepcion bobbles the ball, and safe all around.
The scouting reports will tell you to play Fisk in the hole. He's a pull hitter. Concepcion was cheating toward the bag. He was not covering, but he was cheating toward the bag so he could get there in the event of a double play. And the ball, a little unusual hop bouncing up. This is not artificial surface.
Difference is Yastrzemski running. Concepcion lost his force-out play at second, and the long throw was a bit too long to get Fisk. So Johnson starting his man paid off.
Yeah, it did pay off. That's the first error of the series so far by the usually very sure-handed Concepcion. Freddie Lynn. Foul ball. He doesn't make many of them. Concepcion, rated by many as the best, one of the best in the game. Denny Doyle's a big fan of his. You look at Freddie Lynn, who did everything in his freshman year. Concepcion has an arm, he's got range, soft hands. Doyle said puts him on a par with Larry Bowa of Philadelphia, almost, except he played with Bowa over there. He has it second. Short right, Griffey. And the runners hold as now there are 2 outs. So Lynn, 0 for 3 today, flies to right, and Rico Petrocelli moves in.
Petrocelli yesterday with men on jumped on the very first pitch. They're a very aggressive ball club, these Red Sox. Lynn jumped on the first pitch with men on, and let's see what happens to Petrocelli. I know if I'm catching, I'd have to say, give me some extra on that first pitch.
2 for 5 in the series. He's 0 for 2 this afternoon. Struck out once. One ball game. Yastrzemski at second. The lead run. Fisk at first. Right. Good breaking ball.
What a curveball that was. I think that was the best curveball he threw all day.
That can bother Rico, who used to be a very good breaking ball hitter, but lately has not been as well as he had the fastball. Ball 1. A ball and a strike to Rico. We got a dandy here. Yesterday it was about like this until the 7th inning. It was 0-0. Today 1-1 is Billingham. And Bill Lee putting it on. Fastball that time. It's 2-1. Petrocelli had, there's Yastrzemski at second. Got on a single, and Fisk is over at first.
If you were a guess hitter, you'd guess curveball. I would.
Right now. Didn't get it. Well, it had been a slider. 2-2. Petrocelli had an inner ear problem that really bothered him this year. He almost had to stop the game. At first he thought it was his eyesight. He tried glasses, and then he found out there was an inner ear infection that he's being treated for right now and will be looked at after the series to decide whether he'll play again. Ball 3. Rico is often misread by a lot of people because he is a moody kind of fella, but he was really hurting. 3-2 now. Runners will go. Foul ball. Have to do it all over. 3-2, 2 outs, 6th inning, 1-1 game. Petrocelli hails from Brooklyn, New York originally. Has been living here but is moving to Florida.
Next door neighbor to the home plate umpire, Nick Colosi. Colosi grew up, hung out with Rico's brothers. Rico's just a kid.
3-2. Base hit, is it? Yep, base hit. Yastrzemski will score. 2-1 Red Sox. Petrocelli on a 3-2 pitch singles in the lead run.
There it is again, too, Ned. That big 2-out RBI base hit. They got it from Carlton Fisk in the first and got it from Petrocelli here in the 6th. That's worth double its weight.
Fisk went to third on the play. So now runners are at the corners with 2 outs, and here's Dwight Evans. Hit by a pitch and struck out. 2-1 Boston, 6th inning. Six hits off Billingham now. Ball 1. Three RBIs for Petrocelli in the series. Evans had a leadoff single yesterday. And the count is 2-0 to Dewey. He has trouble with the breaking pitch. They'll throw him a lot of breaking stuff, and he'll concern himself with it sometimes too much. But you make a mistake on him, he's got good power all over. 2-0. Ball 3.
And you see this so often up in Fenway, more than any other park. There's Zimmer giving some signs. He's going to let him take a crack at it, I believe. He let Burleson go 3-0 yesterday, got a base hit. But the pitchers come up here, they're outside, trying to be cute with the outside corner. They miss away, they're behind, and you're in trouble.
3 balls, no strikes. Goes for it. They gave him the green light, which has happened so often in this ball club this year.
I asked Darrell about Burleson hitting a 3-0, and after I left him, I thought, boy, he just gives everybody the green light. He just wants to take advantage of the short left field fence, and we're 3-0. That's the one time when you're up there you can really pinpoint your pitch. Not only guess fastball, but guess location. Low, inside fastball. You can really pinpoint it.
3-1. There goes Rico. Foul ball. Petrocelli took off, and with a foul lashed down into left. The count 3-2 now. Here's that railing that goes out there that so has been the bane of a lot of shortstops and left fielders' existence. And also hitters, because a lot of times it'll take a double away from a batter that's headed down into the corner, and it'll hit that railing and turn into a single. 3-2. 4. Check with first base umpire Larry Barnett. He says ball 4.
Seen Bench do that before. He tried to steal the pitch. He wanted to call it himself, try and intimidate or influence the umpire's call, and he starts walking away. This looks like a trick you pulled, Joe.
Watch him after the pitch is made. He went around. Up.
What's John? Oh,
Hey.
we got him.
I think he had a legitimate question.
Yeah, I believe he did.
He had a legitimate question.
Umpires will say that's the toughest call to make, the check swing. Well, there's going to be a change of pitchers now. That is going to be all for Billingham on the disputed walk to Evans. Pedro Bourbon, who used to be in the American League and now is over here, and a fine National League pitcher is coming on. There's a break in the action here at Boston. The score, the Red Sox 2 and Cincinnati 1.
There you see the commissioner's official box, Mrs. Kuhn at the far end of your left, and Dr. Kissinger as we move over next to Commissioner Kuhn. Youngster or young man who threw out the first ball, and then Congressman Tip O'Neill smoking that cigar with the brown cap on. Mrs. O'Neill, Joe Cronin, former general manager here, Mrs. Cronin next to him. And that was Herb Schlosser speaking to the commissioner, president of NBC. And Congressman McDonald is behind Congressman O'Neill. Mrs. McDonald, Bill Solisich is here. And the Sand guys are out on the mound.
You covered the whole ball yard right
covered
there. didn't you?
everybody.
Covered every bases with all the executives. Kurt did that
That's
yesterday.
known as job security, Tony. Job security, that's what it is.
You all did it again, didn't you?
Where's the
right.
new contract?
If you want us to get a shot of Mr. Yawkey, Ted, we're going to be glad to do it. Ned, we'd be glad to do that.
Okay, Ralph.
And there he is. Go ahead.
Mr. Thomas Yawkey up there. Haywood Sullivan, to your right as you look at them. Haywood Sullivan, the director of player personnel. Mr. Yawkey was cited by Boston for the first time the other day. They gave him a copy of the old North Church, a replica of it, and honored him. Pedro Bourbon was 9-5 in 1975. He'll be facing Rick Burleson with the bases loaded. The Red Sox leading 2-1. The sand they have put out on the mound and around home plate for better purchase by the pitchers. It's really not sand, it's some sort of dried fertilizer. Pardon the expression. There's a strike. 0-1. Bases full of Red Sox. Fisk at third, Petrocelli at second, Evans at first. And Burleson 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Pedro Bourbon. Inside, past Bench, but just a short one. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's Fisk at third base, ready. And there's activity again in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. This is McEnany, who appeared yesterday. Will McEnany working again. Fly ball, center field. Geronimo there, and that wraps it up. For the Red Sox, a run. They had a couple of hits. There was an error and 3 left, and going to the 7th, it is 2-1 Boston.
Well, time permitting, coming up next will be Grandstand, and that'll be all the highlights and scores of all the activity. And, of course, it's a big sports afternoon with World Series and football. In fact, there's one upset in the making going on right now in the first quarter. Baltimore leading O.J. Simpson and Buffalo 14-0. Jack Buck will have all the highlights for you on Grandstand. And then we've got the big football game, Kansas City and the Oakland Raiders. And that's always a beauty when those two teams get together. So Grandstand, time permitting, followed after this game, the Oakland Raider and Kansas City game. We'll have all the highlights and what have you. Right now, we got a beauty right here, Ned.
That we have, sir. Tony Perez leading off against Bill Lee. Red Sox leading 2-1, out hitting the Reds 6-3. Strike to Perez. Perez is 0 for 2, struck out and had a fielder's choice, but has an RBI on the fielder's choice. One of the Red Sox runs is unearned. Tailing away with a screwball. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox have double-barreled action in their bullpen. Pop foul, that's coming back out of play.
Joe, they still look like they're looking for off-speed stuff off him, almost giving him the fastball. Perez was right on the pitch, and it was an off-speed breaking ball.
He's spotting it well, though, Tony.
There's our handheld microphone. Camera from behind the left field wall, past Yastrzemski in toward home plate. One and two. 2-2.
As you watch Fisk catch, the big guy really gives his pitchers not only a good target, but he takes the monkey off their back by just going there and saying, here's where I want it.
Just outside, ball 3. 3-2. Presents quite a target, too, Joe.
He really does, and he locates the ball for you. After he gives the sign, watch him just move over there.
Lee walks Perez to open the 7th inning. Second walk given up by the spaceman, and it's 1 on, nobody out, and George Foster coming up.
So far, Tion and Lee have done quite a job on this Reds hitting attack. They're the top run-scoring team in the majors. In 75, they averaged about 5.2 a game.
You can see
In
why.
the first 15 innings of this game.
Foster.
Foster's not the kind of guy you'd expect to bunt, but Rico's playing a little bit in. I think he's going to hit.
He does. Fly ball left center. Lynn right there. 1 out. He was going for it. Foster has the long ball power anyway, and figure you might as well get it out and see if you can hammer one somewhere. 1 out, and Dave Concepcion, the shortstop.
Ned, I get the feeling that Bill Lee wants to have right-handed hitters try and pull him. He hits them on the end of the bat, and they hit those weak, lazy fly balls.
Johnny Bench made that comment before the series. He said sometimes we have trouble with left-handers that turn the ball away from us. Right.
I was watching that shot we just had on there. He was cross seams, Tony, and then all of a sudden he switched with the seams.
The cross seam is when he's cutting the fastball. That's how he does it.
He did it behind his back, too, which is, you get somebody like Gramus or Shergy or the guys on the bench. Now watch him. There's with the seams.
That's a sinker ball style of holding a pitch.
Very high to shallow right. Evans playing shallow, but Doyle is there. Who's got it? Evans.
That'll give you an idea of the kind of range Dwight Evans has in right field. It's very spacious, as you know, here in right. He took that ball almost on the infield.
He did.
And he didn't have that far to come for it either.
And you infielders love that, don't you?
Let the sure man have it. That's the outfield.
See where he grips this one, Tone.
Ken Griffey is 0 for 2. He's grounded twice to Cooper. One was a difficult play, and the other one an easy one. Very fast, Griffey. Off the end of the bat, strike 1. Let's look at the holding of the ball now. He's changing it around with the seams again. Dipping low, right, the sinker. One ball, 1 strike.
You can bet me there are a couple guys on that bench watching it. If they've been watching it the whole game, it hasn't helped. You know, you can know what's coming. Just like, I guess, when you get a lot of rain, that water's coming in the basement, but how you going to stop it?
Ned, are the stories about Lee and his relationship, there's the Cincinnati bench, his relationship with the bullpen fans out there true?
Oh, yeah, he plays catch with them. He warms up, as we saw before the game, twice the 60-foot distance. Very big favorite out there. 1-2 to Griffey, another sinking fastball. But Lee, he'll aggravate some people, too.
I heard he used to have barbecues, did he? Is that true for the fans out there?
Yeah, he'll light a fire occasionally. Call for some pennies to be thrown to him. And
left-hand pitcher.
he loves to go in the outfield, too, to take a lot of fungos. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. It's Red Sox 2, the Reds 1. Reds batting in the 7th. Game 2, and then tomorrow a travel date and on to Riverfront Stadium on Tuesday night. Rick Wise will go for Boston. Strike 3. Little delay there in the call by Colosi, but it is a strike. And Griffey doesn't care for it. He is called out on strikes. Nick Colosi with the call. Going to the bottom of the 7th. Boston 2, Cincinnati 1. Back at Fenway Park, this is Ned Martin with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek. The Red Sox leading the Cincinnati Reds 2-1, and Bill Lee first up in the 7th inning after a rain delay. Lee has gone 0 for 2. McEnany is the pitcher for Cincinnati. Will McEnany coming into his 2nd appearance in 2 days. Strike. Lee tried to bunt his last time up, dropped a nice one down the 3rd base line, but a fine play by Johnny Bench got him. It'll be interesting to see how these two pitchers react to the delay. Another bunt attempt, and that's a strike, and the count is 0-2. Lee, in his dealings with the rain, and he's had a lot of them this year, has reacted very well. It hasn't bothered him quite so much as it might some other pitchers that have a hard time getting loose again. Don't know about McEnany. Strikes Lee out, and that takes no time at all, and Lee is out of there. One down on the top of the order, Cecil Cooper coming up.
Number 17, Cecil Cooper, first base Cooper.
Cooper is 1 for 2. He doubled in 3 trips. Double to left in the 1st inning. Red Sox have 2 runs and 6 hits. Cincinnati 1 run, 3 hits. They made an error. Strike. McEnany was 2nd in the National League in 1975 in appearances. He had 70. Gene Garber of the Phils had 71. Nothing in 2. Doesn't seem that McEnany has been bothered by anything, and he is quickly ahead of Cooper. That's a Major League ball 1.
You're going to waste one. I always thought that was bad, though, to even call it a waste pitch. But if you're going to waste a pitch, that was a waste pitch. Major Leaguer's right, Ned.
Down to Concepcion at short. 2 outs.
Number 5.
Denny Doyle up. Doyle has had an infield hit in 3 trips.
Second base, Doyle.
3 for 6 in the series. He always seems to be in the middle of things, offensively or defensively, making things happen. Ball 1. There's a drive, foul down into right field. Doyle had a lot of doubles for the Red Sox this year, comparatively speaking, and they always were in the lines. It seemed that he would dunk them down into left field or sometimes get his pitch like there and double right up the first base line. He doesn't pull many, but he sprays them all over.
He's got that defense on us, I'll say that.
He had 21 doubles in the 97 games he played here. Fouls it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He had a couple of very big doubles. There's a shot of McEnany. He had a couple of big doubles in the last 2 weeks of the season when every game meant something. 2-2. One of them was a bad hop hit past Chambliss of New York. Another one hit the first base bag. A couple went down to the left side. Checks his swing on that. 2-2. Glad to see you talk with Jimmy Rice, Tony. He's quite a young man, isn't he?
If he is dejected, he's sure hiding it well. I know he'd like to be in there.
Ball 3. 3-2 to Doyle. 2 outs in the Red Sox 7th. Red Sox 2 and Cincinnati 1. Strike 3 called. He got him. Quick inning for McEnany, who looked very, very sharp. And going to the top of the 8th inning, the score, Red Sox 2, Cincinnati 1.
Pinch hitter.
Hit. There are the bullpens in action at Fenway. On the left, the Red Sox bullpen, right-hander Dick Drago, and the left-hander throwing now, number 43, Jim Burton. And Raleigh Eastwick, the 3rd, warming up for Cincinnati.
Ned, we saw Tony interviewing down in the interview area during the rain delay, but you know that he had to go visit his friend, don't you?
Well, I assume that he and
I
Kissinger
happened to
cut up a
walk
few
by
old touches.
Dr. and Mrs. Kissinger, and he was in the Red Sox dressing room, and a couple of good insight. He's really a baseball fan, Ned. And Joe, he said, surprise, isn't it, that Red Sox are running so much? Pretty good. And he said,
not too bad.
Isn't it going to change when they get to Cincinnati? In his diplomatic fashion, obviously. He knows it's going to change when they get there in their hometown park.
Listen, Hedda Hopper, how's Nance?
Nancy is doing just fine.
I'm glad we have you along, Quebec.
Get all his social notes here.
We need it.
Our roving reporter.
Yeah.
We're going to have let's see, Bill Lee taking his warm-ups. He'll be allowed a lot, of course, with the rain delay. All he got for warm-ups afterwards was striking out. And the spaceman has pitched 3 hit baseballs so far.
Ned, well, we got a chance here. Certainly want to say hello to our friends at Armed Forces Radio and TV. There are 399 radio stations worldwide, 90 television outlets. It'll be delayed a week. The 1.5 million U.S. service and civilians that'll see and hear the World Series. NBC's coverage.
Not too bad. Looking at that people warming up, Lee and Fisk.
Number 20.
Oh, yeah, here we go, Navy.
Navy Day today here. 200th birthday of the U.S. Navy.
Lee and Fisk, the battery, at one time were 1-2 men as player reps on this ball club. Fisk was a player rep and Lee was assistant. Now Lee is the player rep. Fisk wanted no more part of it. Here is Geronimo leading off and lacing one to center field, but Lynn is there. 1 out.
Ed Armbruster was in the on-deck circle in the event that Geronimo had gotten on. Now he goes back to the dugout, and Merv Rettenmund has come out. Ned?
Merv Rettenmund, who is one of the 2 American League players, ex-American Leaguers, who ever played in this park before, of the Cincinnati Reds. Rettenmund was a fine outfielder with the Baltimore Orioles. And actually, he was an unfortunate spot. He was a number 4 outfielder when they had Paul Blair and Don Buford and Frank Robinson. And he was considered one of the best 4th outfielders, but he never really got a chance. Went over to the National League a couple of years ago and hit .239 this year with 2 homers and 19 RBIs. Had a couple of sensational years for the Orioles. There's that changeup, popped up foul, Cecil Cooper there. 2 outs. Rettenmund batting for Billingham, or for the pitcher rather, McEnany, fouls out, and there are 2 away in the Cincinnati 8th, and he started him off with it that time.
Unbelievable. Usually when you have a pinch hitter coming in, you want to show him smoke because he's been sitting there, especially on kind of a cold day like today, but he went the other way. Yastrzemski is playing mighty, mighty close.
The batter, Pete Rose. Yaz playing the shallow left field. Drops it over, strike 1. Rose is 1 for 3. He singled to left his last time up.
Petrocelli standing down at third. He's about got 1 foot in foul territory.
1-1.
Really guarding the line.
There's Rico policing around there. He was way over toward the bag, and that's where he'll go now. Again. Don't want to get Rose anything down into that corner because that's a sure double. The way he hustles on the bases, even one hit off the railing might be a double. 1-1. Fouls that one, 1-2, and that got Colosi, I believe.
They're not taking any pitches. They know Lee's been throwing strikes most of the ball game. He's been ahead of the hitters, and they're going up there wailing. And he might become a little effective now because they look like they're all swinging for home runs. With that little tailing fastball and change of speeds, he becomes even tougher.
Lee pitched in a game last year, fellas, that was almost unbelievable. They had a rain delay of an hour. The game took about 4 hours to play, and he pitched the thing. That's a base hit. Rose is on with a handle single over Doyle's head. So the Reds have the tying run at first with 2 outs in the 8th. 2 for 4 for Pete Rose. And that's the 4th Reds hit. And Mr. Trouble here for any Red Sox pitcher, Joe Morgan. Been on base twice again today with a walk and a fielder's choice. Grounded out his other time.
Can't imagine, Ned, there's not much Fisk can do because he gets as surprised as some of the hitters, I'll bet, with Lee pitching, especially with that slow curveball he throws.
Yeah, might be a pretty good thing to steal on. 2 away. Morgan standing in. He's well up on the plate, too, in front of it. He wants to try to get that ball before it breaks. Chopper charged by Doyle. Got it. Morgan out. Lee dashes into the dugout, and it's no runs, a hit and 1 left. Going to the bottom of the 8th. 2-1 Red Sox.
We'll be bringing you Grandstand right after this game. We'll be bringing you up to date on all the highlights and what have you. The Baltimore Colts were upsetting, midst of an upset. It's 21-17 in the third quarter, Baltimore, so an upset in the making. But Jack Buck will have all the highlights. Have some highlights of this game and highlights of the football. And then at 4 o'clock or thereabouts, we'll have the Oakland Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's right here, so where you got that dial is the spot to be. Grandstand. And I think that Oakland Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs says enough. Don't look at the standings when those two teams play. They go head and head right now. There's a pretty good study of young Eastwick. I like the shot on the right-hand corner. That's what I like.
Raleigh Eastwick, who had 22 saves.
I tell you why. You get a good. Now I watch the pitcher's head. Now he looks to the ground, then looks up.
I thought you meant the lower right-hand corner because they included the catcher.
Looking at the top. Now watch. He looks at the ground, and that's where he picks you up. I always wanted those pitchers to look at me, even though they were going to get me out. I wanted to know them to know where I was.
Be honest about it anyway, right?
That's right.
Eastwick was some kind of relief pitcher. He had 22 saves this past year, tying Al Roboski of the Cardinals for tops in the National League. He appeared in 58 games, won 5, lost 3, 22 saves, and had a 2.60 earned run average with a rookie. Eastwick from Camden, New Jersey, lives in Haddonfield now. Here's Yaz. Carl Yastrzemski, 1 for 2 today. Strike 1. Bottom of the 8th, the Red Sox leading 2-1.
Eastwick, a power pitcher. He comes in throwing strikes, as does McEnany's slider, tailing fastball.
Long drive toward the wall in left center. It is going to be caught out there by Geronimo as the wind held it up. Ball well hit, and on a day with no wind, might have made the wall. 1 out.
Number 27, Carlton Fisk. Red Sox pitcher.
Carlton Fisk has 1 hit today, an RBI single in the first inning. He's 1 for 3. That's his hit in the series. He came fairly close to the wall yesterday with a fly ball. Ball 1. But nobody's hit it yet. If you're looking to the Reds' 9th inning, they will have the meat of their order up. Bench, Perez, and Foster against Lee. Popped up. Maybe room for Bench back near the railing. Nope. 2 rows up. As you noted yesterday, very little foul ground here for the catchers in Fenway Park.
That's good. Not only on foul balls, but on those pass balls.
Right.
In the old days in Pittsburgh, before they even moved the screen up, you could run for a week and a half on a pass ball.
And guys would score from second
base, and they'd blame the catcher. You have some sadistic knuckleball pitcher out there, and then they'd blame you.
A ball and a strike to Fisk. 2-1. Here you got the shot from downtown. Good shot of Fenway Park. 2-2. That was a strike. Carlton Fisk from New Hampshire, one of the few New Hampshireites in Major League Baseball. There's his manager, Darrell Johnson. Not time to grin yet, Darrell. 2-2 to Fisk. Still 2-2.
Defeat legs.
Defeat legs.
Oh.
Defeat the Red Legs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They're running away from them. The slider, 3-2. Sparky Anderson's crew looking a little bit tense right now. 3-2 to Fisk. And he walked him. Fisk draws the walk, the first given up by Eastwick. Freddie Lynn coming up. Lynn is 0 for 3 today. Grounded out, flat out twice. As you can see, he did it all, is right, in 1975. One strike.
Oh, Johnny.
He came into the All-Star game this year, a rookie pick, and said he'd never seen so many fastballs thrown. He'd been seeing so many breaking pitches in the American League, and they threw him fastballs and got him out in the All-Star game.
Ned, you've seen one of the nice things an umpire will do, dust the plate when it doesn't need it, to give Johnny Bench a chance to get a breather. He took one of those real shots off the leg, and Colosi gave him a little time to get his pieces back in order.
Good point. A bad rip that time by Lynn, the count 0-2.
Ned, one of the things I like about Lynn is even if he's not hitting, he's still a big contributor to winning ball games. We've seen it already today, a great catch he made.
It's 1-2. No, he doesn't get down on himself, and I think that was a very big point about the fellow you interviewed, Jim Rice. He was even more so than Lynn. The 0 for 4 days don't make him hang his head. Comes back. Just got a piece of that. 1-2.
I saw a quote by Lynn when they asked him, could he believe the year he's having? He says, well, maybe someday this winter when I'm out in a boat fishing, it might be jump right out at me. But he said, right now, it's too much day to day for me to worry about it.
Looking at Roger Moret in the bullpen for the Red Sox. One and 2 to Lynn. Eastwick on the mound. Out of play.
Would have been a great replay, not the foul. Moret blowing that little bubble out there. He's out of the competition.
He's one of the Garagiola losers.
He was a pretty good one, though. He had a shot at it for a while.
Yeah, he was all right, but he didn't. He lost. It didn't quite. You got to have something going for you, Ned. There's no joke.
Very high, not too deep, right center. It's going to be Geronimo. 2 outs. Lynn is out. Fisk returns to first, and here is Mitko Petroselli, the guy that put the Red Sox ahead in the 6th with a 2-out single. There's Moret. Roger had the best winning percentage in the American League this year. Rico is 1 for 3. Ball 1.
Is Rico quitting again this year?
Well, it's not this time of quitting. He is going to be examined by a doctor, though, on this inner ear thing. If they figure that he's taking heavy medication for it now to keep it down, but if there's any chance of it flaring, I don't think they would want him to play, because you get hit in the head or something happen, why it could be dangerous. 2-0. He did say last year he was going to quit and then decided to come back. He wanted to be traded. A lot of things went through his mind. He had the problem, litigation off season several years ago, which he eventually won, of course, but things like that bothered him. And he's been a heck of a ball player through 10 years here. There's a base hit to right. Looped in there. Fisk will hold at second. Griffey picks up. 2 on, 2 out. And number 6 has done it again for the Red Sox. Just a little handle hit into right field. Dwight Evans, a batter. Red Sox trying to get an insurance run here, a little pad run in the 8th. They lead 2-1. Evans is 0 for 1. Been hit by a pitch, struck out, and walked.
Toronto, though, is really directing the outfield. He's got Griffey playing very shallow in right. He's playing shallow in center. Evans has power out in that direction, right center, once in a while, Ned.
Yeah, he does. He can't hit there. Strike. Good pitch by Eastwick.
They're daring Evans to hit the ball over their heads in center and right field.
I don't think Fisk could score from second base on a ball hit to right field, as shallow as Griffey's playing.
No way. Have to hit the gap. Up and in, ball 1, 1-1. The trouble that Evans has sometimes is when he gets a couple of shots and hits that wall or the screen, and then he thinks, I'm a pull-hitting home run hitter, and sometimes misadjusts. 1-1 to it. Ball 2.
There's that situation again. Pitch away, get in trouble, get behind. Lay back, wait for the fastball.
Good pitch again. Called strike. Count is 2-2 now. Evans not caring for it.
One thing about leads that I've noticed here in this ballpark, Ned, you saw it all year, you got to get a pretty good lead off second base because that ball does hit that wall. If they play it perfectly, you're still going to get nailed. So instead of a 4-step lead, Fisk has got a good lead at second.
Fred Lynn used to take big leads off there this year, too. Out of play, 2-2.
Just a medium speed ground ball hit between third and short sometimes can be tough to score on. Foster now has shortened up quite a bit.
Yes, he has. He's not playing out near the warning pad. 2-2. 2 outs, 2 on. Foul ball. Not even checking on that one.
Excuse me, Ned. If you're an infielder in this situation, one thing's got to be on your mind. Knock the ball down. You've got to dive to stop that ball from going to the outfield.
One thing that could hurt, I guess, on that wet outfield is the ball to die there before somebody gets to it. Strike 3, he's out. Eastwick got him on the inside corner. No runs, a hit and 2 left. And going to the 9th, it is 2-1 Red Sox. The preceding announcement was furnished by Major League Baseball. So here we go to the top of the 9th. The Red Sox leading the Reds 2-1 as Bill Lee will face Bench, Perez, and Foster with Concepcion behind them. Lee has pitched a 4-hitter. The go-ahead run by the Red Sox was unearned. That's the kind of ball game this has been. Tough, tight, taut. Here's Bench. Base hit right field, maybe more than one. Evans tracks it down. Bench will take 2. Double. Tying run at second base, nobody out.
Ned, we didn't get a chance because he hit the first pitch, but they had shifted on him. They had thrown all their strength towards left field and the third base line, and Lee hung a ball outside and had John pull it. He had a tough time pulling it through for a base hit, but he went with it, and it's an extra base hit, and here comes Darrell Johnson.
Johnson out to talk to Lee. It's been a long while since Lee has gone 9 innings, and that was in that the August 24th game. Figuring on what to do now with Bench at second base and the tough part of the order still coming up, and of course with Cincinnati, every part of the order is tough. Tony Perez, a right-handed hitter, to be followed by Foster and Concepcion. They're going to go to the bullpen. They want the right-hander Dick Drago to come on to pitch to Perez. So Bill Lee, who will get quite a hand here as he leads. Here it is. Everybody up at Fenway, and the Red Sox faithful. Lee worked 8 innings plus, giving up 5 hits and 1 run. Walked 2, struck out 4, and gives way to Drago. There's a break in the action here at Boston. The score, the Red Sox 2 and Cincinnati 1. There is Dick Drago, the hard-throwing right-hander who saved 2 ball games in the playoffs, 1 official save. He bailed out pitchers twice, and he did it by just throwing fastballs, Joe.
He, I think, is a throwback to the, what I have to call the old-time relief pitcher who comes in and throws strikes. We went through a period where we had the kind of, what would you call them, the knuckleball, the screwball, the forkball type pitcher. But a guy like Drago goes back to the Joe Page or Ted Wilkes, that kind of ball player, pitcher, or relief pitcher. Raditz is another guy, just rear back and throw as hard as he can into the strike zone. He's got a sinking fastball, and you can look for the fastball, but again, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to do anything with it.
Yet, had a good fastball. Let's take a look at this play again with Johnny Bench going into the right field with the pitch. And that's what he did right there. Doubling to right field to set up an entirely different ball game now as Drago comes on to try to bail out Bill Lee. Drago appeared in 40 games in the regular season. He had 15 saves, won 2, lost 2, and had an earned run average of 3.84. And the first man he'll face will be Tony Perez. As I mentioned, Drago, he had a 17-game winning year at Kansas City as a starting pitcher. He just became a short reliever this season. Last year they had him as a starter and a reliever. Perez 0 for 2, 1 RBI. Fouls at strike 1. Perez, a 109 RBI man over the season. 3rd in the National League behind Greg Luzinski of the Phils and teammate Johnny Bench. And he wants very much to back one in right now.
And look at that Petrocelli, would you, Ned? Guarding that line at 3rd.
I'm looking at the Drago. That's a mean look there. One ball, 1 strike.
We got an interesting thing going on at second base. They're playing so deep. Burleson right now is trying to get some instructions from the bench, from the Red Sox bench, because Johnny Bench at second base is getting a tremendous lead. He's 12 for 12 in stolen bases. You take him for granted, and he's going to be hook sliding into 3rd.
All right, we'll see what gives now. 1-1. Doyle bluffing toward second. A chopper toward the middle. Burleson will have to play to first. He gets his man, but Bench goes to 3rd. No other play could be made on a medium-speed ground ball toward the center of the diamond. 1 out and the tying run at 3rd. George Foster, the hitter.
Number 15.
And a big, big spot for Drago.
George Foster.
Our statistician,
Left field Foster.
Alan Roth. Production stage manager, Jim O'Gorman. Field supervisor, Huey McDermott. Our thanks to them. The Red Sox bring the infield in. Doyle and Burleson 2 or 3 steps off the grass. The outfield shaded to left on Foster with power from the right side. He's 1 for 3 today, a single in the 4th inning. The Red Sox want to cut the runoff if they can. Now Burleson wants a word with Drago, and Fisk comes out. One thing that Burleson did establish himself this year, Joe, was the fact that he could be the field leader, and the Red Sox haven't had a take charge guy in the infield for a long while. Now the manager's going to join.
I can't blame Darrell for wanting to come out here to find out what's going on. I'm sure that one of the things they're talking about is the possibility of a squeeze play and just what exactly is going to happen. Do you knock the hitter down? Do you throw away from him? You want to set that up in your mind. And Burleson, I will say this, and I'd love to see it. If there's any doubt in your mind at all, call a meeting. Now's the time to call a meeting, not in the clubhouse when you say, man, I wish I'd have gone out there and said something. They get everything squared away. There's really no strategy here. They know how to pitch to Foster, and if Drago's going to get out of it, he's going to get out of it with his good sinking fastball. This is not the time to think. This is the time to throw.
Red Sox have a couple of people throwing in their bullpen, and so do the Reds. Okay, here's Foster. There is Jim Willoughby as the right-hander, Jim Burton, the left-hander, in the bullpen for Boston. Check swing, strike 1. Big spot here.
I want to try to keep an eye on where Fisk locates this ball, Ned. This is a big pitch, I think.
1 strike to Foster. Bench at third. Out of play, strike 2. So now Drago has the edge on Foster, 0-2.
Your decision behind the plate now is, do you go out and get him right away, or do you throw this pitch, set up your 1-ball, 2-strike pitch?
Well, yeah, a hitter like this, you might do that. 2 strikes. Just missed. That's what he did.
That was a great pitch because he was going to the outside part of the plate, but if he was going to miss, he was going to miss it to the outside and not give him that good pitch to hit. But here's where he's going to go get him. We'll take a look at that pitch. Now, if you miss outside, which he did. If he misses inside, he's in trouble. But I got to believe he's going out and getting him right now. Here's your pitcher's decision.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Foster. Out of play again. He's keeping it away from Foster. Not wanting him to get anything down that he can pull. Yastrzemski's playing him straight away and shallow in left, but respecting his ability to hit it toward the line. Lynn is shading him toward left center. There's Yaz. They bunch him up to left center field and give him a hole in right center field. Ooh, jammed him that time.
That's what you call fighting off a good pitch. If Drago could pick up a phone and ask for a pitch he could throw, that would have been it. That high, tight fastball, he had extra on it, and Foster just fought it off. Had he hit that ball, he wouldn't have been able to drive it anywhere. He just fought it off. So you're really seeing a battle between a pretty good relief pitcher and a pretty good hitter.
1-2 to Foster. Tying run at third. 1 out in the 9th. Foster taking a little edge off by backing out. Fly ball, shallow, left. Yastrzemski in. Bench playing down the line, won't go home. 2 outs. A big out there, Mr. Garagiola.
Yes, sir, Ned, and I tell you, it was a pretty good battle. And Drago shaking off the one pitch. I'm sure that Fisk was going to go with the fastball all the way, and many times what you do is put down fastball and have him shake you off. You tell him to shake you off to get that hitter thinking, and what makes you do a thing like that is Foster backing out of the box a couple times. You know he was thinking. That was quite a battle.
So now it's down to 1 out to go for Drago, and a base hit to go for Concepcion if they want to send this game farther than it is, or give the Red Sox a chance in the 9th. Dave Concepcion is 0 for 3. Grounded to short, flied out twice. Bench at third. The windup by Drago. Strike. 0-1. Up and in again.
He is letting out a notch, man. He has really blown that ball.
Hard as he's thrown one.
You notice he's not going to any trick pitches. What got him here is going to get him out of there.
And that's what Concepcion will be looking for. So it's, you know, I got mine, you got yours. Let's see. That may be trouble. Doyle can't make the play, and it's all tied up. Infield hit by Dave Concepcion. No play at all for Denny Doyle except to keep it in the infield. Johnny Bench scores, and the Reds have tied it in the 9th. And here we go again. It was a pitch on the outer edge, then tailing in.
Could really see Concepcion swing down on that ball, and once it got by Drago, there wasn't much Doyle could do but keep it from going to the outfield. He couldn't really make a throw. He was running too hard. Watch the momentum carry him about 3 or 4 more steps. That's the kind when you stop right there, you just don't know what to do with it. You really want to take a bite out of it is what you want to do.
Yeah, or bury it.
Right.
Incidentally, Concepcion's error led to the go-ahead run for the Red Sox, so he evened it up. Griffey is the batter. 0 for 3. lead run at first. 2 outs. Strike. Well, you can't really fault Drago. He's pouring the coals. He made a good, powerful pitch, and Concepcion got the bat on it to the right place.
I think you pinpointed it well, Ned. I got mine, you got yours. It was strength against strength, and at this particular time, Concepcion won that battle. But you know he's throwing hard, because anytime you hear a catcher's glove pop with the gloves they're using today, you really got to throw hard, because they're using pillows.
That's right. So it's 1 strike to Griffey. The Red Sox 9th inning will have Burleson, Drago, and Cooper scheduled up. He's keeping him there. And again.
He's got some ideas, but Drago's doing a good job. He's got a pretty good move for right-hander.
One strike to Griffey. Going to send him back there a few more times. Take a step away and keep him there. They want no one at the mid-station, as they say. 1 strike to Griffey with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Game tied 2-2. One ball, 1 strike. Griffey has pulled the ball twice to Cooper at first. That was against Lee. Runner going. Throw down there. It's safe for second base. And an argument by Burleson. Throw a little bit low by Fisk. Otherwise, he might have had it.
He threw that ball straight down. He gets the ball in pretty good shape, but watch him as he comes up. He guns it down. Kind of right down.
Yep.
Hell, no, just a bit too long. Nice pickup at second base by Burleson.
Hey.
But he was under the tag.
Got in just under the tag on a pretty close play. Well covered. It's now 1-2, and the lead run is in scoring position. A single would put the Reds ahead. A good, solid single. 1-2 the count. Out of play.
You know, it's going to sound like a cop-out because having been a catcher, but it is a little bit cold here, and I don't care whether you're catching as much as Fisk has. It's just a little tougher to throw on a day like today.
Well, it is.
It really is.
Fisk had thrown 2 out in the series. Pretty good save by Burleson, as it turned out.
Almost got him.
1-2. And again, Griffey hangs tough, spoiling a good pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reds putting on the pressure in the 9th inning, as they have done so often. That's what gets them there. A team that can come back, take advantage of everything, get the base hit, the off-field base hit by Bench, and then with 2 outs, the ground ball that scores the run.
If Concepcion able to steal a base in the clutch is a pretty good indication of what kind of a ball club it is as far as balance.
Absolutely. Well hit to left center. It's in there. A run will score. It goes to the wall. Picked up by Lynn. Double. And it's Reds 3, Red Sox 2. Ken Griffey with 2 strikes on him. Behind on the count, 1-2. Picked on the fastball and found the alley with a clutch double. And the Reds have gone ahead for the first time in the series.
The ball club was down. They were almost saying, wait till we get you in our home ballpark. But Griffey has just given them a lead. And Griffey, who has kind of been in the shadows of the benches, Perez, Rose, and Morgans, it was his bunt that beat Pittsburgh, and now it's his extra base hit that puts him ahead.
The run charged to Drago. The other 2 runs charged to Lee. So now, The game has really changed around, and the Reds have the advantage, and they are going to put this man on. Geronimo is going to get the walk with first base open, which will send up Eastwick. So intentional pass to Geronimo, who'd gone 0 for 3. And even though he had not had a hit in the series or in postseason playoffs, had gone 0 for 14, still, strategy dictates you've got to put him on, or else force a pinch hitter for Eastwick.
Ned, with all it, there is Bob Housen of the Cincinnati Reds, a president. General
Feeling a lot
manager.
better now, isn't he?
Yeah, I started to say, with all the talk about the wall, that's the chairman of the board, Lou Nippert, next to him in a light coat. With all the talk about the wall and what they were going to do, it was a 5-hopper that Doyle was able to come up with. It's been the big hit so far.
Yeah, and a medium-speed ground ball by Perez that got benched to third in the first place. But then, of course, that's all academic after the double by Griffin. Eastwick, strike 1.
Well, due to the length of this game, and what an exciting game it is, we'll be going right to the football, the Oakland Raiders and Kansas City Chiefs. So we can get you into the mood for that game, because that'll be a beauty, just like this one is.
Doyle to Burleson. Got the bag in time, and Eastwick is out, or he forces out the runner, Geronimo. 4-6. Going to the bottom of the 9th. 3-2 Cincinnati. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. So it's the bottom of the 9th inning. Cincinnati leading the Red Sox 3-2. Rick Burleson will be first up. There'll be a pinch hitter for Dick Drago, and then Cecil Cooper, as Raleigh Eastwick has a chance to nail one down in the big one, and a very big one for the Reds. 3 runs, 7 hits for Cincinnati, 1 error. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Red Sox, and that's how even the game has been.
Ned, you've seen the Red Sox all year. Well, Burleson, is this a bunt situation for him for the base hit?
Not often, no. I don't think so. We'll see, with Rose playing third. They want to get a man on, right.
I noticed Bench moved Rose in at third, and that's the reason I ask you.
He could do it, but he doesn't often to lead off an inning. We'll see now. Red Sox down by a run. You can play for tie at home. Swinging and off his foot.
Oh, boy.
And Burleson's caved in a little bit there.
There it goes. It's a sinker ball. Fastball in. It goes right down. Right off this left foot, boy. And if that doesn't make you late for the dance, nothing will.
Telling me.
Put you in a pair of Richie Hebner shoes, won't it?
Oh. I tell you, Tony, I couldn't run anyhow. I wouldn't mind wearing those steel-plated those toes that the umpires got and wear those shoes, because it wouldn't hurt or help my speed. It would help you on a play like that.
1 strike to Burleson. Ball 1. There they are.
We get the steel in the toe, and Colossi's got dirt on the heel right now. It's been a long day for him.
Pop up, shallow right. Look how shallow Griffey was playing. Foul ball catch. 1 out. He was way in.
Carbo.
Bernie Carbo, who used to play with the Cincinnati Reds, is coming up to bat. He is going to hit for Drago.
He's tattooed that wall, especially earlier this year, hasn't he, Ned?
He had a great first half. Has an inside-out swing. He uses the wall, and he hit a batch of home runs. Had a lot of game-winning hits. And he did the same. Well, he went a little farther this year than he did last. Last year was about a half season. He went about 3/4 before he started tailing off, and he got hurt. As I recall, he was involved in a very controversial play with the Reds in a playoff in, when was it, 70, 71, something, play at the plate.
Right.
He was 0 for 8 in the 1970 series for the Cincinnati Reds. Hit .257 this year with 15 home runs. Eastwick to Carbo. Tried it that time and hit late on the fastball, one, and he hit the foul ball.
Show you what kind of prospect Carbo was. He's going to get a new bat. He may have had it sawed off. He was drafted by the Reds before Johnny Bench.
Yeah, he was, and he also was Rookie of the Year his first year up in the National League. Made a lot of notoriety last year by carrying a stuffed gorilla around that Scipio Spinks had willed him from the Cardinals. Mighty Joe Young, but when some of his teammates tried to burn it in the clubhouse, he decided to send it home.
Didn't he take that to a coffee shop and order breakfast for it and then get separate checks?
Yeah.
The waitress gave him separate checks?
Yeah, he left him in his bed in Dallas. And the maid came in to make up the room and saw that he was covered up. And she flew out of there. Thought there was somebody in it. What is this? One strike to Carbo. Ball one. 1-1. The Red Sox are used to Garrison finishes, though. They may not do it today, but they had a bunch of them here in this ballpark this season. Little looping foul, that's out of play. Eastwick sawed him off that time.
So far, they've got a pretty good book on Carbo. That's where they try and pitch him. He drops that bat. A little more of an outside hitter and low ball hitter if it's away.
In the old days, Tony, you'd say you aim for the belt buckle, but with these uniforms, you don't. You just aim for the middle of them. They just jam him with that slider, and that was a perfect pitch.
1-2 to Bernardo. Stings one to left. It is going to be caught by Foster. Went to the opposite field, but Foster was playing him just right. And now there are 2 downs, and the Red Sox are down to their last out.
17. Cecil Cooper.
Cecil Cooper is up. He is 1 for 4. He doubled to left in the first inning. The other 3 times up, he grounded out. The crowd, which was roaring before, quieted in the top of the ninth, and they're still quiet.
Playing tight on the lines. Deep in right field to protect against the extra base hit. What a hole he's got down the right field line.
He's
In the
got
outfield.
a lot of green there to aim for. You've got to see all that space between Griffey and the foul pole. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cooper. Reds leading 3-2 in the ninth. 2 out. This should do it. Popped up towards short. Concepcion. There. And that's it. As the Reds take it in the second game of the series. 3 up and 3 down in the 9th inning. Nothing across. The final score, Cincinnati beating the Red Sox 3-2 with a winner, Eastwick, and the loser, Dick Drago.
Well, a happy Cincinnati ball club heading for the clubhouse. It really picked them up. It was Johnny Bench who got us started in the 9th inning, and after 2 outs, Concepcion's base hit and infield hit scored Bench, who would move to third on a bouncing ball by Perez, a double by Griffey, and it's 3-2. And that's it. The final score, once again, Cincinnati 3, Boston 2. The World Series is tied at a game apiece. This is Joe Garagiola with Ned Martin and Tony Kubek saying goodbye from Boston.